Welcome everyone. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I just realized I have an earbud in my ear. I am also an NPC fit model and bikini competitor, and this is my improvement season vlog. I think it's week 8 post show, so well into my improvement season following my fit model show several months ago. Oh, I can't believe it's June. Yikes, this year is halfway over and it is just flying by. So in my intro, I'm going to talk about the feedback from my coach this week and also some other things that I have going on this week. Before I forget, I am getting to train with my amazing friend Wendy and her husband Tony. They are in town to watch the Rockies play and asked if I had time to get in a workout. And of course, I would love to do that. So I will insert some pictures of us here. I met Wendy and Tony this year at the Arnold, and bodybuilding brings people together, and they are just some of the most amazing people. Wendy is an amazing women's bodybuilding competitor. She is stunning. She is so strong and just an awesome couple. So really looking forward to catching up with them and getting in a good workout. I'm nervous. I'm afraid they're going to kill me. Destroy me in the gym, but I'm here for it, so that should be awesome. So let's talk about the feedback from my coach. My check-in last week, there was really nothing all that important or earth-shaking, so I assume my feedback was going to be relatively minimal, and it was. The basics of it was just that he wants me to keep him posted on how things go with my SIBO protocol. Those supplements actually should be, in my world, arriving in just a couple of days, so I will likely... Well, I don't know how much you guys want to hear about that, but I can talk about it as much or as little as the interest is, but I will kind of probably discuss that at least in some parts here and there. He also asked, I mentioned, farther down in my check-in form that I am starting the low-dose naltrexone. He's very interested. He said he's read a lot about it, but never had a client who's utilized it, so he is definitely interested in hearing how my experience goes with that. So far, just to update you guys on it, it's only been not even a week, 3 or 4 or 5 nights, and I honestly have noticed nothing. So I am taking a very tiny micro dose, and one of the things I think I mentioned in my feedback form last week, or when I was talking about it to you guys, was that the people I know who have taken it have said to really titrate slowly. So I was kind of expecting it to, be more intense or kind of like really notice it right away. And I have not yet, but things take time to get into your system. At a low dose like this, these very tiny micro doses, the half-life is very short. So I think maybe it's just going to take a little bit more time for me to start noticing more of a profound effect, or, once I kind of titrate up my dosage, just to kind of see how it feels. I don't want to go too fast and have it hit me like a ton of bricks and regret it, but you can always titrate back down. I mean, it's like I said, it's a relatively short half-life, so it's not something that once you get it in your system is going to linger for days and days. It's pretty much out by the morning, so that's how that's going so far. No changes. Not a lot to report. I'd commented that, I was really hoping that some of the weight I've put on is muscle, and he said, yes, for sure, that there's probably a little bit of muscle there, of course, along with the fat. And to keep him updated on how I'm recovering, because with the new mesocycle, it's a lot more intense on legs, and just to make sure that I am recovering well. So far I'm feeling great. It'll be my second week doing it. He did ask for more training footage, so even though you guys have already seen this workout, I'm probably going to get more footage for my workout on Sunday, just because it's a really easy day for me to record in the gym. The gym is relatively quiet that early in the morning, and he specifically gave me feedback from the footage I sent him last week of the belt squat or pit shark RDLs. He wanted me to be having a lot more flexion in my knees, so I wanted to make sure I got footage of that. So there will be footage from that workout again, and with those changes. So you guys get to see the same workout again. Hopefully I've improved, but just wanted to see that. He also, part of the reason he wants to see my training footage is because, I do report relatively, moderate or light pumps. And that's kind of always been me. I don't feel like I've ever been that person who gets like this crazy pump in the gym, but I do get like a nice full feeling in my muscles. So he's asked me to increase my salt intake even a little bit more in my pre-workout, like before I start working out. So I will definitely do that and let him know how it goes. Everything else is fine. Metrics are fine. Blood sugar levels are excellent, which is great to see. Everything else looks pretty damn good here, is what he said. Metrics pretty consistent across the board. Pumps within the training sessions. He said that's where we talked about getting more pumps. Usually a direct correlation with nutrition, supplementation, and hydration. So making sure I'm really well hydrated when I go into the gym. And like I said, adding in an extra gram of salt with my pre-workout. He said everything else looks good. Asked if I had any signs or symptoms that my menstrual cycle could be returning, and I have not. I feel like I've tried everything, but what I'm kind of trying to do right now is not stress about it too much, because I was definitely, putting a lot of pressure on myself about that, and stressing, I guess, is a good word, but I'm trying to let some of that go and just kind of do all the things I know I should be doing. I've gained a healthy amount of body fat. I'm not feeling super stressed other than just like normal stress, but it's not like I'm in an incredibly stressful period in my life or anything. So I'm trying just to kind of maybe relax a little bit and, give that a chance to do some work as well. Like just some less pressure on myself internally to force my cycle to come back. So asked me to keep him posted on my protocols with the SIBO and with the new medication with the naltrexone, how it feels with the pre-workout. He said, apart from that, everything else looks gravy. That must be a British thing. That means all good. Looks like you're in a really great start for this mesocycle. He said, we'll probably keep food relatively the same throughout this mesocycle. As the intensity goes up, that will sort of balance out the energy intake. And all good. So that was my feedback from my coach this week. And like I said, there wasn't a lot that I had to report, so really that's a lot of what I was expecting. So I will get him updated training footage this week, and also increase that sodium around my workout to see if I can get some more crazy pumps. I do take that pre-workout, the non-stim pump product, which I really love. And I am the type of person who I like a lot of beta alanine. Like sometimes I'll even throw a little bit of like extra L-citrulline, just straight L-citrulline into my pre-workout, because I like that full feeling in the muscle, but I don't know if I get like crazy pumps. Maybe I need to become a pump chaser. So yeah, that's all I've got this week, at least right now. I'm sure there'll be more. Something will come up. I am finally hopefully getting my nails done this week. I was supposed to get them done last week, but my nail tech had to cancel at the last minute, which was fine because I ended up having to go right back to work. So it ended up working out well, but man, they are growing out to a point where I'm like hiding them because they're so grown out. So I'm excited to get my nails done. I'm super excited to see Wendy and Tony, get in a good workout with them, and yeah, just see what else the week brings. So I appreciate you all for being here. If you do have any questions, comments, feedback, please leave those in the comment section below, and there will be timestamps for whatever comes next in the rest of this video. And I will see you all here in whatever comes next. All right, so this is my workout for the week. You guys have seen this workout, but my coach asked for more workout footage, so I recorded all of my exercises this week except for my cable lateral raises. If you hear thunder and or rain noises in the background, it is because we are getting a crazy thunderstorm when moving through, and it is pouring rain, so I apologize. But started off the workout with 2 sets of abductions, trying really hard to get a really good glute pump on these. That's one of the things that my coach provided for feedback this week. You guys will have heard that in my intro, that he had me do some additional sodium prior to my workout. And yeah, I got a really good pump, but also just really focused on really squeezing that kind of upper outer glute. And that's why I'm leaning forward slightly. And I don't know, my coach will provide feedback on all of these as well, but I have not received it yet. It was just today, so he's got lots of time to give feedback. After that, I moved on to 2 sets of seated hamstring curls. I really like the range of motion on the curls at this gym. There's a lying hamstring curl as well, but on the seated curl, for my leg length, I feel like sometimes a seated curl doesn't always like fit my dimensions very well, but this one really does. It's also a really smooth machine, which is really nice. So just a couple of sets here, really focusing on that contraction at the bottom, giving a nice little hold and a pause, and then just a nice slow return to the top. So 2 working sets of these. It's always tempting to speed up those last few reps, but really focusing on keeping my rep speed consistent as much as possible, keep my hold time at the bottom consistent. And then from there, moved on to my favorite exercise, which are the pit shark or belt squat RDLs. So last week, my feedback was to bend my knees more in these. He didn't want them to be so much of a stiff-legged movement, but more of a bent, so really increasing that range of motion at the knee. Again, I haven't received his feedback yet, but hopefully he's pleased with this range of motion at the knee. That is as far down as I can go. So last week, I did use the V grip, which I like because it's just a nice neutral position, but to be able to get a little bit more depth, using the straight bar allows for just that little bit more extra depth than going all the way to the bottom. And again, just really isolating, trying to really focus on that push from the glutes. My goodness, this storm we are getting is insane. It is looks like the tropics out there. But did 2 working sets here. I love this machine. It's one of my favorite exercises. And again, got a really, really good glute pump on this workout. It was really good. Next thing I moved on to was my balance nemesis here, the reverse Smith machine lunges. And again, you can see that this Smith machine allows for movement forward and back and up and down. So you can't really like cling to the bar like you could on a more fixed Smith machine. So it does require a little bit more balance. So I'm using just barely any weight and really focusing on getting good depth. I'm sure my feedback is going to be to slow these down. But at some point, I feel like it's as slow as I can go without falling. So I actually did 2 sets of these, but I only recorded 1 just because they're longer with doing both legs. But did do 2 sets here. After that, moved on to some back exercises, did some pullovers. Again, I did do 2 sets on these, but I only recorded 1 set. Really try hard on these to make sure that I'm keeping my lats doing the work and not allowing like my triceps or my arms to kind of push the movement as much as I really try and think of it as a pulling movement, not a pushing movement, to really engage my back. And like I said, not try to just like pull the weight down, but to really, or push the weight down, I'm trying to pull the weight back. And then after that, the last exercise of this workout, well, actually that's not true. Last exercise was cable laterals, but the last exercise I recorded was these T-bar reverse grip rows. Last week I didn't see the reverse grip part of it, so did use the reverse grip today. And again, I feel like about almost the shortest person could be to use this piece of equipment. It fits me perfectly, but I feel like if you were a lot shorter than me, you might struggle because you cannot adjust the height of that pad So if someone was really short, I just don't think they could use this. I got in just one set here. It was only programmed as one set. And then, like I said, I did do 2 sets of cable laterals that I did not record just because there was not a good place to set up for it. And there was a guy kind of walking back and forth doing leg raises. So it was just not that interesting to film. And those I've sent to my coach a lot of times. After that, I did do a little bit of posing. There's not a lot of room in this posing room, and I need to remember to bring my heels with me because posing in your shoes is just, it's not the same. It really isn't. The angles, the way it feels, it's just not the same. But did do a couple of quick rounds of posing and feeling a little bit better getting back into my bikini posing versus the fit model posing, kind of finding my flow. And that was it. That was my workout. Did some cardio after this and I was done. And we're back. It is the end of the week. It is time to talk about my check-in from the week and also just recap how the week went. It was a good week. I hope you guys enjoyed my workout footage from the week. I know it was the same workout that I showed in last week's video, but just trying to get a little bit of feedback from my coach. He'd asked for he'd asked me to make some changes on that belt squat deadlift or RDL. So I wanted to make sure he saw that. And then just kind of while I had my camera out and Sundays are really quiet in the gym, thought I would just record it again. So not much different there, but it's the same. I'm really enjoying the workout still. So it's really good. Let's talk about my check-in from the week. So here are my progress pictures right here. And we'll see what I sent as my check-in. This was my 23rd check-in. I think so I skipped 2 check-ins. So this is actually my 25th week working with Erin, which is crazy. Time has just flown by. Oh, I will insert it here as well. So I took a picture of from December till now to just kind of see. And I am really hoping that some of that growth is muscle and it's not all just fat, but I was pleased to see that I definitely see some improvements. I wish my shoulders showed more improvement. They just look a lot softer, but I'm trying. I'm trying my best. So good motivation to keep pushing harder in my workouts. But let's talk about what I sent for my check-in. First question is always about digestion. I said it's normal for where I'm currently at. Started my SIBO supplements Wednesday, which was just the day before. So just a day ago. So there wasn't a lot to, obviously nothing to report there, no changes. How am I feeling overall well-being? I said, good, nothing new to report. That's kind of it. I really didn't, I was like, just good. I didn't have anything to say. So kept it with just good, not trying to be evasive. That's really it. There's not a lot to say this week. How's my recovery? What week of the mesocycle I'm in? If I'm sore. It's meso week 2, so this is my 2nd week of the new lower mesocycle. I said recovery's feeling good, no real soreness, and I feel refreshed after rest days. I definitely appreciate my rest days, so I am feeling good and recovered though after them, which is great. I said extra sodium pre has increased pumps. I got a really good pump. Actually, Sunday, the day I recorded the workout from this week, was the first day, because that was the first day that I included it because that was the day I'd gotten my feedback. So got a good pump that day. It was interesting though, because I got a really good pump at the start of the workout and then by the end it kind of faded. But I think that, again, that's fine. Like I'm not a pump chaser. So it was great to kind of get that initial, like really feeling like those first workout or the first sets, really getting some blood into the muscles I was working. And then by the end, it kind of leveled out, I guess. So it was all good. He asked any exercise I'm having issues with. I said none, but I asked how wide should my stance be on pendulum and hack squats. Oh, that's something I didn't mention. So or if I did mention it in the intro, I've forgotten that I mentioned it. I'm going to mention it again because it was so much fun. So I got to work out on Monday with Wendy and her husband Tony, they were in town to watch the Rockies play. I will insert some pictures of us here. It was just so much fun. But we did pendulum squats, and they both used a much more narrow stance than what I was using. They're a little bit shorter than I am, but it led me to ask that question to Aaron, why I didn't even think to ask that, like how wide would he like my stance to be on the pendulum and also on the hack squats. So I asked that. It was so much fun getting work at it with Wendy and Tony. Wendy is competing at this point, oh gosh, in like just a little over a month. She's competing in July. I'm really excited to see how she does and watch her. I mean, I'm not going to be able to actually be there to watch her, but just to kind of follow along on that journey and just to see her up on stage. She is coached by my good friend Paul. So he is getting her in crazy shape, and she is just a beast in the gym. And her husband is super strong too. He's not a professional bodybuilder, but he is very built. So it was really fun. Anything else I should know about nutrition, schedule, personal? I said no cycle. He'd asked me if my cycle had returned or any signs that my cycle was returning. I said, but I did have a little chin breakout this week, so maybe a sign of some hormonal shifts. So no change there. Nothing else to report. Weight, blood pressure, how much water I'm drinking of the day, quality of sleep, recovery. I put quality of sleep as an 8 and recovery as a 9. Energy and digestion both as 8s. Stress was just normal. Appetite was normal. Glucose, steps per day. Any changes with supplements? I said I started the low-dose naltrexone at 0.25 milligrams pre-bed, upped it to 1.5 on Monday. So far, no real notable symptoms or side effects, but it does make me tired. And it's an interesting kind of tired. And I've only noticed it like a couple of times with it. So it's been, I mean, I've only been using it for a week. I mean, not very long at all. But yeah, like when I do something, like if I take it and I'm still up for a little bit, like it'll make me like really like tired in a way, almost like melatonin would do. Like it's like you just want to sleep right now. Like I'm going to sleep right now. So that's been interesting, but I was kind of hoping for some like crazy vivid dreams because I've heard that's what it does, but so far nothing. I've had a couple of days in the afternoon where I felt a little bit brain foggy in a couple of days, and I don't know if it's just nutrient timing or what, but that's been, I guess, the only thing I've noticed this week that's been a little bit different, but I don't correlate that necessarily to the naltrexone. So I started my 30-day SIBO protocol on Wednesday. I'm expecting some die-off symptoms as I get a few more days into the protocol. And, these are a pretty powerful blend of herbals that can have a very strong effect, and die-off symptoms can be an increase in symptoms. You can have, an increase in all of your symptoms. So kind of knowing that might be something I'm expecting, or changes in digestive or bathroom habits, just kind of knowing that might be coming. But so far, I mean, it's just been one day, so nothing yet, which is good, but kind of expecting that I'll probably start feeling something there. And I also wonder if some of that, what days did I have the brain fog? Maybe just the first couple of days of the supplements, maybe? I'll have to start tracking that too. Yeah, interesting. This is why you only change one variable at a time. So you know what does what, but got a couple of things going at the same time here. Personal goals for next week, be honest, areas you could do better in. I said I want to get back into daily meditation, vacuums, and more practice on my posing. Definitely have gotten very lazy with practicing posing in the last few weeks. So I need to get back on that. Like posing the off season is really important just because it's reps, right? It's like anything else, like practice does really make perfect. And then when you practice your posing, the more you refine it, the more comfortable you get doing it. It's really important to keep it in the off season. And I have been better about that in the past than I have been in this off season. And it's a little bit different this off season too, since I don't have a show date or kind of a plan for this year as far as shows go. I think that's maybe part of the motivation isn't there quite as much, but even without that, as an athlete, I need to keep practicing my art. So need to keep practicing posing. And I do miss meditation. Like I used to meditate right when I would get home from the gym just for 10 minutes. Like I'd, kind of drink some water, take my post-workout supplements and then just meditate for 10 minutes before I took a shower. And I really liked doing that. And it's one of those things, I kind of say it's like the sandbox analogy. Like you never know when the last day you're going to play in the sandbox is, but like one day it was and you didn't play again. And I think that is almost as what's happened with meditating, is that I just one day didn't do it, probably because of work or something or my schedule, and I just haven't gone back to it. So I really do want to get back to that. So that is a goal that I have for next week. I think that is it. Pumps were good. I put those as an 8 overall work volume. I put as an 8, but I feel like that's maybe a little high. It's probably more realistically like a 7. Anything else I should know about training? I said still loving the new lower mesocycle. Any exercises causing joint pain? If so, be specific. And the answer is no, but then I started thinking about, I do have a weird feeling in my knee that kind of bothers me, my right knee. I said lying leg curls feel a little funky on my right knee, but not painful. Like, it's not painful, but it doesn't feel good. It's almost like I can feel like it feels like torqued, like it's almost like twisting somehow. Like, it doesn't feel good and smooth. Like, the left one just moves nice and smooth, like no weirdness, and the right one just feels not great on lying leg curls. And I don't notice the same thing on like seated leg curls, but on lying leg curls specifically, like it feels really odd. So that's the only thing to report there. My sleep score was an 86, and then resting heart rate and HRV, my resting heart was a 53 and HRV was a 45, and then pictures. So that was it. I did send footage from, well, you guys saw the footage from my workout. I haven't heard back. Aaron said he was going to look at it on Sunday when he was doing cardio, but I did not hear back from him. So we shall see. He might give it to me in my feedback for when he sends me feedback. Will be when I get that. Wow. What is English? That was the most convoluted sentence ever. I'm assuming he will give me feedback on the training footage when he sends me my feedback from this check-in. There we go. All the words. So hopefully I will get that feedback, because he had asked me to do some changes on those Pit Shark RDLs. So I tried to implement that change and want to make sure that I'm doing it correctly, like making the change that he'd asked for. So that's that. That was my check-in from the week. It was a good week. It was really great to get that working on with Wendy and Tony. It was also fun to be able to have them have a really good experience at this new gym that I'm working out at. It was really easy for them to get in as a guest. They actually let them come back later in the day. Wendy is a beast. Like I said, she's a beast. So they were going to go back in the afternoon and get a second workout in. And the gym was nice enough to just, they were only going to charge them once, which was great, and knew they would be coming back. So that was super cool. And it just felt really good. I mean, I've had nothing but positive experiences at this gym so far, with the staff, with the other people that are there working out. Like, it's been outstanding so far. So I've been really, really pleased with all of that. And then adding to that, this great experience that my friends had there was really good too. So the whole thing, it's just, I don't feel like I've worked out at gyms in the past that would have been this great with, bringing guests in. Like, I can't think of a time I've brought a guest to a gym, like my gym. I've been guests at other people's gyms, but to actually bring somebody for a workout, it's been a long time. So that was really great. It was a good experience. It was positive. Again, I'm super excited to see Wendy compete this year. She's incredible. So that's all I've got for this one. But next week I will talk about the SIBO supplements more, so you guys can see what comes in that kit. If there's any specific questions that you guys have about it, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. I don't know how much or how little you guys are interested in hearing about that. It's definitely a unique thing that I'm dealing with at the moment. And I'm excited to hopefully improve my lower abdomen appearance. So excited to get moving on that. But that's it for now. So until next time, it's finally June and the sun is shining. Please, please, please spread positivity and light to yourself and everyone around you. Get out and enjoy some beautiful June sunshine. You are worthy, you deserve it, and I appreciate you so much for being here. And I will see you all here next time.